Hey, this is James Francis and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you how I made over $402,000 during a pandemic. And those of you watching right now are thinking, James, this is BS, this is hype, this is a scam, whatever. Here's some proof. Okay, so just recently I've had a lot of people asking to see some proof that this stuff actually works, especially during a pandemic. So here we are inside my e-commerce account. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my financial records here, the monthly sales totals. Let's go ahead and have a look at everything for 2020 so you can see the breakdown of every single month. And here we are. So January, $45,000, then $32,000 the next month, then $27,000, then $43,000, $42,000, and so on. As you can see, it's pretty consistent, and even during the height of the pandemic in most countries, you can see here $97,000 in sales, equating to $402,000 in sales, and this is just the first 9 months of the year. And again, I'm not showing you this stuff to brag or be weird, I'm literally just proving to you that this stuff actually still works during a pandemic. So here we are at paypal.com as well. As you can see, I just typed in that address in the browser. You can see this is actually the PayPal website. I want to show you inside my PayPal account because some of our sales are received into there, just to prove that this is actual money I'm actually receiving into my bank account. So once logged into PayPal, I can go to the top menu over here, go to activity, and then all reports, and you'll see a breakdown of my financial records in here as well. Let's go ahead and look at the financial statements for, let's just go the whole year to begin with. So year to date, 2020, currency US dollars. I get paid in US dollars, but of course I can convert that to whatever currency I want. In my case, it's UK pounds, but you can do that to whatever you want. You can see here, activity, sales activity, and payments received, $223,000. And from that, you might be thinking, well, James, how much of that did you actually receive? Here we go, only $8,000 in refunds from $223,000. Okay, pretty cool, right? Now, of course, we receive a lot of money in other places as well, but that just gives you an idea as to how much money this system can make for us and also for you too. So, how did this happen? Well, before we get into the specifics, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below this video if you find this video valuable, and go ahead and give it a like as well if you enjoy any part of this video. So let's get started. The first thing we did was realize that the media is spreading a lot of doubt and uncertainty around the world. More specifically, when it comes to people buying stuff. They would have you believe that everyone is broke, they're all there, finding the pennies from the back of their sofa trying to pay their rent and everything else. That is not the case for everybody. Now, sure, that is the case for some people who are going through hardship, who have lost their jobs, who are struggling financially for some other reason, but it doesn't apply to everybody. Case in point, we wouldn't have been able to make all of this revenue had people not been buying our stuff. Right? And equally, lots of other businesses around the world are thriving during this pandemic as well. If you look at history, some of the biggest and most profitable businesses have actually started during a recession or economic hardship. For example, our business, we started back in 2008 and the economy wasn't great back then either. So if we can build a business during economic hardship, imagine what you could do right now when people are looking actively for help, but also during another time of hardship as well. And something I want to address is that we were not selling stuff related to the pandemic. We were not selling face masks, we were not selling hand sanitizer or anything like that. We were instead just helping people to start and grow an online business. Now you might think, James, who's going to be starting businesses during a pandemic? Well, think of it this way. People who are losing their jobs or who have some kind of job insecurity where they're thinking they're going to get fired, they're going to get put in quarantined or furloughed or whatever it is in your country, then they're probably thinking, you know what, I probably should look at another revenue source. So that's why they're looking to build an online business. And they may have had this thought for a long time, but never actually got around to it. But now is the perfect opportunity for them when they're not working and they have all this free time. So that's what I think to be one of the biggest reasons why we flourished. But we also have lots of other clients in other niches, totally unrelated to finance stuff, totally unrelated to business, and totally unrelated to pandemic type stuff like face masks and hand sanitizer and stuff like that. For example, we have one client in the relationships niche, and you will think surely relationships aren't at the top of people's list during a pandemic, right? But you're wrong. In fact, it is. Their sales have actually increased during the pandemic because more people are at home, and therefore their relationship is suffering because they're spending more time with each other than they would have done before the pandemic. Makes sense, right? But that is just one example of many clients we have in all types of weird and wonderful niches where their sales have increased during a pandemic. And this is related to the second thing I want to mention, which is that a lot of businesses have had this knee-jerk reaction to pull all of their advertising, all of their marketing, and all of their profit-generating activities and just kind of go into hiding. Now, common sense tells me that if you're not doing profit-generating activities, you're not going to make a profit, right? So keep in mind that if you are pulling all of your advertising campaigns back, if you're no longer marketing to your prospects and just hiding in a cave somewhere under a rock until everything blows over, which could be another year from now, who knows, right? Things aren't going to go well. You're not going to be making a profit, and sooner or later your cash reserves are going to start dwindling and you're going to be in a bad financial position. Right? So that's not what we did. We actually looked at this from a logical perspective rather than an emotional perspective and realized that not everybody is gonna want to stop buying stuff, right? It's not like the whole of the planet has just suddenly lost their credit cards or suddenly lost their money. Again, a lot of them have, but not everyone has, right? So we took advantage of that by actually helping people during this pandemic to get themselves back on their feet, which is, again, what it should be all about. We're not screwing people over here. We're not siphoning money from people like some other gurus would sell software about. We're literally helping people to enhance their life, to get over this stuff and create a new direction in their life for a better outcome. The other thing we did was we built our business way back in 2008 in a niche which is evergreen and always in demand. Okay? I'll say that again. Evergreen and always in demand. For example, if you're selling socks for dogs, then of course that is not going to be a long-term thing. If the proverbial hits the fan, to put it lightly, people are going to stop paying for that optional stuff. Whereas health, wealth, and relationships are the forefront of most people's lives. We need health to be alive, to exist as a human being, and also to feel better about ourselves as well. We need wealth to be able to pay for things which enable us to have a better life, or even just to survive. And some would argue that we don't need relationships, but most people do. Most people need some kind of love or some kind of affection, either from friends, family, or a spouse, okay? So health, wealth, and relationships. If you have a business or set up a business in any of these areas, you can pretty much guarantee that your business is going to be fine if the proverbial does hit the fan like the pandemic or even something in the near future. Fingers crossed, touch wood, right? We don't want anything else to go wrong, right? But fingers crossed. The other thing we did was offer people the opportunity to pay for our monthly recurring services in advance. So we offered a few packages here, 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, and each one of them were at a slight discount. So if they paid for 3 months in advance, they would save $1,000. If they paid for 6 months in advance, they would save $2,000, and so on and so on. Basically incentivizing them to pay us up front. That way, if they had any financial hardship in the future, maybe they lost their job, their savings were getting quite short, or whatever else, we were already taken care of. That was off their to-do list and we were already paid. Now, this enabled us to have a reserve of money in our savings account just in case something went south in the future, but also our clients were taken care of. They didn't need to worry about paying the bills because that was already done. And plus they had saved some money as well, so it was a win-win. Next, the other thing we did was change our advertising copy very slightly to indirectly reference the pandemic. So really important here, do not say, get this right now, otherwise you're going to get COVID or you're going to lose your job or whatever, right? That is not cool, that is very unethical, and I don't recommend doing that. Instead, try and be a little more subtle about it. So what we did in our example was we actually just said stuff like, if you want to have an additional income stream to run your own business, to have something that provides for your family in the future, and stuff like that, right? And also this applies to other niches as well, of course. For example, the relationships niche gal we spoke about earlier, we changed her copy very slightly to be more about the fact that people are spending more time together, that there's a bit more of a friction kind of scenario between the two, and not necessarily in a good way either. So we changed our ad copy that way. Also in the health niche, we've already gone over the stress reduction stuff, but we essentially changed our ad copy very slightly to indirectly reference the pandemic and the situation people are going through and what they're currently thinking and feeling, because all your advertising is connecting your solution emotionally with your prospects' needs and wants and desires. Finally, the most important thing from this entire video is focus on giving people what they need to achieve their goals. Now, during these difficult times, it can seem tempting to just cash grab, like promote the heck out of everything you can think of, spam your audience with tons of offers, not really delivering that much value to them, in the hope that somebody will buy something that will tide you over to the next month. But guess what? Your audience isn't going to be around next month when you need their help to fund your lifestyle, to pay your bills, and even to grow your business. Because they'll be gone. They'll be annoyed of your crap, right? So don't do that kind of stuff. Always focus on how you can help your audience. If you need to record videos like these to actually give them value, to help them, do it. They will pay it back to you in spades because you're the one who's going out of your way to help them for free, and also with their best interests in mind as well, making sure that if you do promote something, that it's actually going to help them in the situation that they're in. For example, we haven't promoted an affiliate offer in about 6 years now, for a good reason, because most of them aren't really that great in terms of what I would love to promote to our audience. So we just promote our own stuff. So in your case, try not to go for that cash grab mentality. Try not to think like, what can I sell them today? Try to think, how can I help them today? And if one product that you see that you want to promote will actually help them to achieve their goals, go ahead and promote it. That's fine. I'm not saying don't promote stuff. You need to promote stuff, but don't do it over the top. Don't bombard them with offers to the point where they no longer want to hear from you, pandemic or not. All right, so hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below this video to make sure you never miss a future video. And I look forward to hearing your comments in the comment section below. As always, have a great rest of the day and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.